Check, check. Check, check, check. I say Mike, you say check, say Mike. Mike. I say re, you say spec, say re. Re. I say spoken, you say words spoken. Spoken. All right, y'all, we're going into the second round of our poetry open mic. I got 10 poets, and I got a featured poet, Zachary Cluckman, who's here with us all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's got albums, books, and a whole bunch of poetry for us. So how the second round is going to work, I'm going to tell you who's on deck. That's second up. Now I'm going to introduce the next poet up, and they're coming up to the stage, all right? So it goes like this. On deck, I got Vivian. Next up to the stage, we're building energy, we're showing love. We're building energy, we're showing love for Amal Ghassil.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is a brand new poem. I've never read it before. Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Arabiti maksura. My Arabic is so broken. Like cracked teeth when you bite down on an olive pit too hard. Like bursted chestnuts, shattered tea glass, bombed buildings. When I speak my Arabic, I am tongue-tied, tangled necklaces, stutters and mutters and sorries. The hat is getting stuck in my throat like a gasping cat trying to escape the rubble. My second grade vocabulary tumbles down with the minarets of Homs. My Arabic is so broken, like a nation at war, like the heart of a mother whose child hasn't called in years, like a stumbling prisoner, battered and bruised, too nervous to cross this language barrier. When a Russian missile hit my aunt's house in Syria, my Arabic collapsed with the building on her body. It was shattered, unrecognizable. It was mangled. I did not even have the language to give my condolences. I could not face the mourners. I could not give them this cheap English, this counterfeit currency. I was a coward. I didn't even try. I could speak all this sugar in my English, but that day I was speechless in every language that I knew. My mouth is a nation with no alphabet. My mouth is a coffin with no one inside. A clogged pipe that needs a plumber, a jammed treasure chest that no one can seem to open. I am searching this rubble of my father tongue, trying to find some courage. I am trying like a stuttering child to untangle these necklaces, jimle by jimle, sentence by sentence. ما بعرف شلون بس هحاول. I do not know how, but I will try. I want to say I'm sorry in 1,000 languages. I want to give my condolences to every nation on this planet, from Syria to Sudan, from El Salvador to Chicago. I'll use this shrapnel in my mouth to fashion something that resembles an obituary so that they may know that this speechlessness haunts me. My mouth is an empty birdhouse, and all the doves have gone. But I am praying that they will be back, stutters and mutters and all. My Arabic is so broken, like cracked teeth when you bite down on an olive pit too hard. But I'll keep trying, even if all my teeth are broken. Thank you, everyone.
Yo, that was Amal Ghassil. Amal, thank you for making us zoom out of the U.S. a little bit, sharing the story. Y'all give it up for Amal one more time. On deck, y'all, I got Mississippi, Maryland, but next up coming to Mike, y'all put your hands together for Vivian. Y'all give it up for my DJ, Cherry Light Bounce. Y'all give it up for my bartender, Lalo. And now y'all make some noise for the next boat coming to the stage, Vivian.
Hey. Okay, I'm so nervous tonight for some reason, and I think it's because I'm getting to know more people here, and then some people I knew a while ago are here, and it's easier to say shit in front of people you don't know, because they don't know what you're gonna say anyway. They don't know if you fucked up. They don't know shit, so it's easier. And now I've got people I know, but actually they may not know. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this. All right. Hang on, I gotta jiggle it out. I don't know. Okay. All right, hang on a sec. All right. Oh. Okay. I gotta hold on to this so I don't fall down. They call me histrionic. You don't know me anymore. In fact, you never did. How could you? I only knew my own name and nothing else. What people told me I was supposed to be became the part that I played. My personality fit the mood of the room and the people within it. I was an ever-changing chameleon, just trying to survive the hidden war that was always waged upon strange people like me. Non-conformists, alluring, no-tribe orphans, loved and broken, never enough, but always too much. What do you want? What do you need? I'll be the life of the party and your next queen. Life in the spotlight, smack in center stage. Everyone's talking, trying to rattle my cage. Notoriety brings sobriety, safety, and opposite of truth. Nobody knows the difference between popular multitude and solitary servitude. Just trying to survive my differences, my inability to assimilate. Always the actor, the star of the show. I claimed the stage, saw my name up in lights, ever the pretender. I did it to stay alive. When the audience is your witness and the press your alibi, nobody can hurt you, rape you, or kill you in the safety of the spotlight and life in the public eye. So nervous.
Y'all give it up for Vivian. Yeah, after a while you gotta find a new mic because more and more people start to know who you are. On deck, y'all. We got Caleb. Next up coming to the stage, I want you to put your hands together for Mississippi, Maryland.
Hello. I have not been on an open mic in so long, and it feels so good. But this is my first time on this mic.
We got a version.
Okay. This piece is called Locked in a Dungeon. I cry out to you through words, poems, and songs, yet you don't hear me. You've turned a deaf ear because I'm locked away into a place of nothingness. I'm locked away into subconsciousness. If only you would free me so I could blossom in your life again. Petunias of passion and romance, sunflowers of love and consideration, honeysuckles of desire and satisfaction, magnolias of thoughts and loyalty, Roses from the door, my mouth, the tub, the bed, and one single rose holding you while you sleep. You know that I can. You know that I have. You know that I still will. It's like you don't want this harvest when we both know you need it, you desire it, you never had it all like this, and you wish it again. Nothing amounts to what we really share. How could you even put me there? You complete me like I complete you. It's like a song without a verse, a witch without a curse, a baby without a nurse. It's like a bottle without a nipple, a pun without a ripple, a sun without a shine, champagne glasses with no wine, a player without a line. Every day I'm in a dark place. There is no light in my life. I cry out to you, yet you don't respond. No one else can do it. Despite attempts and desperate desire, they're not the master of my heart. They don't set my very being on fire. I'm drowning in the water that leaks out of my eyes and onto the floor, filling up this place of condensed, suffocating, unlivable space. You have me locked in a dungeon, and I want to be free. But I guess I'll remain here until you see what you need to see, grow up to be who you need to be, or until someone else becomes capable of freeing me. Thank you.
Mississippi, Maryland, thank you so much for blessing this mic, and welcome back on a mic. If y'all are ever interested on getting on this mic, the sign-up list goes up at 7:30 every single Wednesday, and then we also have virtual writing groups and readings every single Monday. Just talk to me about it after the show if you're interested in getting involved, but otherwise, we got a few more poets to go before I bring up our featured presentation. On deck, I got Krishna Nara. Next up, coming to the stage, please put your hands together for Caleb Shell. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Follow his shirt, follow his shirt.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Oh, to mention a little bit like what he said, if you're looking for a cool membership, every November, there is a 30-day writing challenge to see if you can write one poem a day. Consider joining sometime. It's a lot of fun. That is where I made this piece. A little small, but new shit. The first draft of this was silence. Like explosions if they were meant for safety, boxing its way for the attention of who? I couldn't even begin to know. It's just that it sounded like I've been here before. Rinse, repeat, could have sworn it was a familiar heartbeat. Did you ever stop and think that maybe you are good enough? Did you ever stop and think maybe all this time you have been alive as if there was a purpose to this thing called life? Hello, hasn't it been a while? You need to know every moment you are alive is an answer. Staring right back at you with all that doubt, say welcome. You have belonged here this entire time. And know that you try. I know that you try. Got them bruises to prove it. Now, isn't that perfect? Starting today, I'm willing to say those worst days might still be coming, but so am I. One step forward, just as many back, but I will get there just as I am meant to. Thank you.
That was my brother Caleb. On deck, I got Keelan Mcclanahan. Next up, coming to the stage, please put your hands together for Krishna Nara.
I know how to squeeze it. Actually. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Cool. So, yeah, I literally wrote this poem right before I got here. So it is fresher than the pizza that they are making outside. Yes, new shit. It's new shit, but yeah, fresh shit. Dear forgiveness, I'm told my problem is I fail to see how you are here to help me, but honestly, can you blame me? I mean, let's set the record straight. When a bully punched me in the face and I wanted to ram his head with a brick, my mom introduced us and told me to keep you with me, so I listened. And every time someone did me wrong, I was told that if I came to you, you would heal me from my pain. But every time I actually begged you to help me, you went ghost, leaving me to deal with the pain myself, only to come back much later and shame me for not letting go. And then you had the audacity to ask me, how long am I going to let this pain control me? Now, while you're busy providing a safety net for priests who molest kids and abusers in abusive relationships, I'm here to make sense of all this pain that you promised to heal me from. You know what you are? You're that cop in every movie that shows up after the crime has happened, claim your hands are tied when justice needs to be served, and then wonder why we have characters like Dexter, the Punisher, or literally any vigilante in sight. Doing your fucking job. Or better yet, you're that politician that has a stellar PR team, the way you haunt my Instagram feed, telling everyone how you're here and how confiding in you is something that they do to save themselves, but you and I know the truth. You're just another dirty politician filled with influence of celebrities and self-help gurus like Will Smith and Jay Shetty. Ted And now, you have my friends turn on me, prescribing me like a magic pill, but bitch, this is the Matrix, and if they pick the blue pill, that's fine, but I'll take my chances with the red one, and I'm kicking you the fuck out of my life. Yours truly, the friend you promised to help but abandoned. But to you, you know me as resentment.
Yo, that was Krishna Nara. Can we clap up for him? Can we clap for Anton bringing pizzas out? Can we clap for Anton as well? All right, y'all. They're making pizzas on the front patio. If you want to grab yourself a slice or a whole pie, on deck. I got Universal. Next up, coming to the stage. I want you to put your hands together for Keelan Mcclanahan.
Does it go lower? Tried to put that pressure on that boy. All right. So this is not only my first time at Avant, this is my first time on any mic. So got like a double virgin, little non-penetrating. Never mind. But so yeah, most people my age, they would have some on their phone, but I'm an old ass man, so I got like this pen and paper going on. So this is my first poem I've ever written, and y'all are the first people to ever hear it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm a little guy, sorry. All right, I think that's it. The name of this poem is called In the Distance. The iniquities of this earth are what make me cringe at the thought of birth. Not the flesh, not the organs, not even the snip that deems the cord cordless, but the perpetuating traumas of being a man or being born into a body that could one day make you somebody's mama. What's that saying? Oh, they don't make them like how they used to, but oh, on the contrary. In 2021, when your spoon fed deadly flesh, your ears swallowed the residual mess, always dark and deprived of the best. So yeah, even if they don't make them like they used to, they simply don't function the same, because the world of daily stockings and the one of booty shorts is too different to blame. So we can't see what our ancestors could. They have raided the brain. And not just any brain in this case, but the mind of an entire race. Yanked up, thrown down, forced to work to live. We were always raised in the distance. And even in modern times, you receive the shorter end of the stick in every instance. We were raised in the distance, so we don't see what they can see. We don't speak how they speak, and our children can't eat from the same trees that theirs do. Because you see, we were raised in the distance. Detached by God for this temporary disposition, those that we don't see judged here on earth will receive the heaviest of eternal conviction. What do? Others could not, partly because what we got told about the window, or better yet, the piss in the pot. Or maybe it's the thousands of other customs that we so distantly share. But no matter what, just do your best, because one day it'll be time to get out of here. The iniquities of this earth are what make me cringe at the thought of birth. Keelan Mcclanahan, thank you.
First time on an open mic, not just anywhere here. You chose us, so thank you so much, Keelan, for blessing us and us being your first time. I hope you trust us again for your second time. All right, y'all, on deck, I got Knox McWhorter. But next up, coming to the stage, I want you to put your hands together for Universal.
Hey guys, this is my first time here. Shout out to Zach for making me get on the mic because I was not finna read. I am Black woman cracked in half on the sunrise. My blood be entranced with magic when the moon shine. I broken rib cage of the bird who sang for the last time. You don't recognize me because my melanin pops will glow during the summertime. I stay hot and ready like I came out the oven with my tongue hot and steady. I be spiritual to the kinfolk who ain't never had a struggle like mine. See, I shine like black diamond in the sky, like the women before me. Still I rise. I be halo to broken man who was fallen angel. Be the beat in his heart when he bleeds for me. And honestly, you could call me a prodigy who has mastered self-love for the first time. And you know what? It feels so good to love myself for the first time. So watch me break out into sunflower as my head tilts towards the sun and absorbs its light. I am the embodiment of what it means to burn bright. Me, I am a black queen. So when you see me, bow down and kiss me at the feet. I'm sitting on a throne made of broken hearts. My crown bones of the first boy who was supposed to love me. Years I spent wishing for daddy to accept me. I am lost girl who has escaped her way from Neverland. These wings took flight and carried me back home to the motherland so that I could be rebirthed in shade but of oceans. This is the resurrection, the prosophy, the testimony fulfilled in ink. Who am I? I'm universal. Thank you.
Yo, that was Universal. Shout out to Universal for blessing this mic. First time ever. Shout out to Zachary Cluckman for bullying people to get on this mic. I appreciate you. On deck. I got Nazer, sorry. Next up, coming mic. Y'all put your hands together for Knox McWhorter.
So, wasn't planning on reading anything originally, but then when someone questioned me on that, yeah, I learned that I was not only a poetry virgin, but a poetry voyeur. So I found something in my phone that I think will suffice. Change is inherent. It is a given. Its presence is ironically unchanging. Change is meant to drive us forward, but what about when it does nothing but send us back? I have grown in some ways, sure, but have deteriorated in others. I am always there if a friend calls on me, and yet I can barely support myself. I used to turn things in at the last minute, but now they are late. I used to look up to a God I am beginning to hate. Is this the life that was chosen by predestination, free will, or fate? I am lost. Unsure of myself and unsure of God and their plan or lack thereof, I am falling, but whose fault is it? Depression, that cowardly snake who baits me and bites me and sends poison through my veins, whose swirling eyes paralyze me, forcing me to watch from afar as life speeds on without me. And who is to blame for this snake? How much of the disease is me? How much is from he? That's he with a capital H, of whom I once knew as a father, but as of late his absence sends me weeping to my mother, who still thinks he will return. I hope he does. I hope that, sorry. I hope he does. I hope that all is one day right. I pray that they are right. I pray that God is right. I pray that I can love him again. I miss his embrace that I am now unable to recollect. I hope that his death truly was for the sins I would one day commit, so that all of this meant what I was taught that it did, so that I didn't waste my time praying to a God that did not exist. But at least there's compassion. At least there's kindness. It doesn't matter who taught you those, just as long as you know them. Like brothers to drink with, like sisters to laugh with. The moments where they were embraced are some of the only moments I could never regret. I may have wasted my time, but not my love. I may be wasting away, but for now, I'll say, here's to you, love. Tomorrow's another day.
Knox, thank you for changing your mind and blessing this mic. Sarah, thank you for peer pressuring people to get on this mic. On deck, I got the Houston Poet Laureate, Outspoken Bean. Next up, coming to the stage, y'all put your hands together for Nazer. Sorry. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping all the way to the stage.
Yeah. Whoa. All right. Uh-huh. Oh. Whoa. Yeah. I know we've won when blacks own half of America. We used to not even own ourselves, but now we're so prayerful that 0.5% we own is multiplying so rapidly. The same ones that underestimated me are now after me. We're worth our weight in gold like the accolades of our athletes. The marathon continues. This the Black Wall Street track meet. We raced from underground railroads to them Hall of Fame speeches. We could own the means of production, so why blow it on sneakers? More than Yeah. Don't forget about your Haitians. We went from being deported to making more than previous masters. Even if you combine their net worth with that of CGI rappers, no sneak diss at Pac. He loved to see his people winning. Catch a vision of him rolling up the weed while he's grinning. With Nat Turner, Harriet, Roseanne, Sojourner sitting at your dinner table telling you to go further. Ignore the gossip and rumors and all these frenemy tumors. Be a black king's tutor, rival the hegemony of tutors, and keep flexing your wings, no Hooters. Even Reuters turn to Reuters, and even rioters could be rusers when rags make riches out of looters. And jazz could rock the nation before Jay-Z rocked the nation, and rock and roll was black before NASA lost a spaceship. Indigenous niggas was aliens before the Martians, and Joel got us out bars before all of Obama's pardons. So keep screaming Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, and Trayvon Martin till all the hooks, blocks, trap houses, and streets is Eden's Gardens. You know your rights so well, the white cops stutter like Tartaglia. When the biting what you're writing, give the haters sleep apnea. When you're styling out your mind, just make them feel like they on salvia. So whoever's anti your vibe will wipe from Angola to Zambia. And when you kill them, just fill them with your spirit till them idiots is either whiffing or ripping your every lyric. And if they still snaking, fill them up with S's, hear it. Silent study, star maker, star seed, serious, then test them weekly. Indoctrinate them with your visions. Marches, votings, and sit-ins became black-owned businesses. Power projection over elections. What's imperatives? The connections. Networks increase the net worth of our late ancestors. Rest in power, John Lewis. Screw it. Rest in paradise. Black folks exercising rights. The only thing that terrifies. Get you a tax attorney. Get the Constitution memorized. You'll have both houses of Congress always up and scared tonight. And while they bug and break bread and then mentor your successors, kick your feet up, light an L, and write a book of our successes. That's a long checklist. And if it ever stresses, remember, OGs did that and better by never saying never to self. The educated mind is what supplies the federal wealth. So when you're sitting pretty in your home of golden eggs, never forget to reinvest in the golden goose. Instead, your head and this community that raised you, even though white people pay you, never let them enslave you. Nazir Scribe just saved you, and you're very fucking welcome, ho. Yeah. I'm the African American Heritage Consulate. I'm a mecca of motivation, missions, and sponsorships. I'm a watchtower. Climb me and take a leap of faith. That's the furthest thing from safe. But pray you land in hay. The counter to COINTELPRO was born in my pad. I started growing. They tried to make me a Moorish nomad. Namaste. Love my city. Yeesh. Even when they hating, cause I gotta get my brothers out the pen. Thank you for your patience. I'm the forsaken. I'm the desolate waste, so I'ma raise myself back up no matter how long it takes. Grace, seldom a grudge when I'm flipping the page, gathering momentum. Shit, yeah, I got a little pace. Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, and Trayvon Martin. Whoa, Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, and Trayvon Martin. Whoa, Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, and Trayvon Martin. Whoa, yeah. Nazir Scribe.
That was Nazir's Cry. And we got one last poet before our featured poet. He happens to be the Houston Poet Laureate. Y'all put your hands together for Outspoken B.
Rap Justice, Monday 5-0. Y'all know it's Nas, yo. What's up, y'all? Yeah, yo, listen. The feature tonight, he's in fucking incredible. Let's go ahead and clap it up. Yo, I am so happy to see him. I've been knowing him since when I started Slam. Oh my God, like over a decade. I've been knowing Kluckman, and yeah, it's just dope. So I'm happy to hear him here in Houston for the first time I ever heard him, man. Yeah, really happy for you, brother. This poem, I hope you like it. It's kind of a downer, but you know what I'm saying? But you know, the way things have been going. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Black Crayon, right? Black Crayola, Black Crayon. Yo, man, that's fucking fire, dog. Yo, man, I enjoyed your work a lot. Broken Crayon, Still Color. All right, this poem is for the black men. All right, this poem is for the black men. The AR-15 in the right hand as the left peers through curtain shears to the protectors. When will that word be used as a verb? To the by any means necessary? Well, not necessarily. This is not a poem to uplift, but to hold us to accountability, Toyin. We have sheep clothing failed you. We have Black Lives Matter at times. You You stood in the gap, took punches on both cheeks, and then fought back. You have a shoving spirit of resistance, even when we prove to be chauvinistic. Where's the outrage behind your death? Behind this stark irony, black women be the first in line, on the front lines, lives stretched out like Sunday's best, stretching out their beloved backbones, or even to lead the charge, or even better, to follow ours without our collective backup. But we exclaim, we profess to be your rock, but we're also your hard place. Black women die at the same rate to law enforcement as we do. So when they are chanting, we can't breathe, they're not just saying those words to the police. Behind every black man's death, there is an army of black women fighting on our behalf, and what we really honestly give them is half. So this is for black men, all black men, to stand in the gap and to protect black women, even if it's from other black men. Toyin, you didn't deserve to be murdered by skin that resembled yours. We don't deserve you or them, but from us, you deserve so much more. You gave up arms, banners, shields, and swords. You said that you can never be silenced. So could I please amplify your reverb, because it's really just not enough just to say your name. That poem was dedicated for Olutoyin Salul. She died June 13th, 2020. She was an activist. She was 19 years old. She was from Tallahassee, and she was advocating. She was an activist. She was fighting for, black men not to be murdered by fucking police. What a concept, right? And then she would happen to be murdered by the hands of a black man.
That was Outspoken Being. Can we make some noise for black people? Can we celebrate black people? All right, y'all, can we give it up for all 22 poets who blessed our open mic? We are now at our featured presentation. His name is Zachary Cluckman. And like Bean said, the longer you've been in these spaces, curating these spaces, the less time you see people who have been around as long as you. And Zachary, I'm glad I still see your face around. So Zachary Cluckman runs Mindwell Poetry in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you're ever out there, please, please, please go visit them. Go visit them. He has a new book coming out in 2023 with Black Spring Press in London. And he believes in you. Can we slow clap our featured poet, Zachary Cluckman, up to the stage? Houston, make some noise for your featured presentation. Zachary Cluckman!
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Thank you so much, everybody. Can we give it up for Amir and the Right About Now crew for hosting this space for all of us? Amazing. I am so blessed tonight because I see some old faces and some new faces and amazing poetry all night. To all the poets who read tonight, thank you so much for sharing your words with us. Fuck, that poem about my Arabic is broken. Jesus Christ, wow. Oh my God. For real, right? Y'all, I'm gonna ask you to do something kind of unusual maybe for a poetry show though, and help me start off tonight. Can we all just take a deep breath together, reset a little bit, right? Just take a... And now I want you guys, if you would, please do me a favor, make a shit ton of noise for yourselves. Give all of you a round of applause, please. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. So it may sound corny, y'all, but I do believe that love is still the best fucking weapon we have in this planet for dealing with stuff, right? And I know that the hardest kind of love to practice a lot of times is self-love. So thank you for doing that and taking that minute to do this. But I got to tell you about love. What kind of trips me out is that we're still letting gender roles have some kind of impact in our relationships with people, right? And I think we all know gender roles are complete and utter bullshit, right? Can we just agree to that? So what blows my mind the most, though, is it happens with our kids even sometimes, right? With the way we relate to our own children. And I had this guy ask me this question once, and I felt like I needed to respond to him, publicly. That's right. You got to, right? You piss off a poet, you're in trouble. That's right. So to the man who asks why I still hold my son's hand, I don't do it every day. I don't even get to see him every day. The moment you become a parent, you begin counting down to this, to the letting go. My ribs are an abacus measured in beats of his heart and the number of moments we have left that he'll want to be this close to me. But in the time we have, we are studying the philosophy of clocks. When first built, clocks were given hands as their instrument of time. I believe this is the clock builder's way of reminding us to hold on, because time is a stampede of horses running straight at the cliff's edge, but the people we love are the parachutes we take with us. So when the road runs out beneath us, we do not fall. We cannonball off that fucker. Listen, there's not much of it. So time is the greatest gift a man can give to his kids. My father gave me 3 gifts. A little red wagon he gave me at Christmas. A hand-stamped leather wallet he made for me in prison. And the hole in that wallet where whatever currency he hoped his memory would become fell out. No matter how poor I have been or become, I will never be my son's empty wallet. If all I can give him are palm prints whispered into his hands and memories of crossing the streets, he will know I was there between him and the trucks, pretending to pull the sun out from behind the moon's ear and put it in his pocket. My son still believes my hands can do magic, but I'll leave the escape acts for runaway dads. Those Houdini cowards whose families have been left holding the chains on their absence. I am not gifted with wombs. Do not bleed sacred or know the secret name of the song that is sung when a child's first breath is taken inside of his mother. So this is as close to creation as I will ever come. But every time I hold my son's hand, I can feel God's heart beating. Why do I still hold his hand? Because he still wants me to. And listen, if we're telling the truth, aren't you really only offended because you're worried that me holding his hand too long will cause him to seek affection from other men? To the homophobe who's overly concerned that me holding my son's hand past a certain age will cause him to grow up gay, fuck you. If my son grows up to kiss sunlight from another man's lips, then by God, I will walk him down the aisle, and if he'll let me, I will hold his hand all the way to the altar. Listen, I have a theory. There is one secret that love shares with the math of the universe. It's the subtraction in the equation that causes the problem to exist. This is true for a man and his kids as well, so as long as he is reaching out, I will take nothing away from my son. Especially these hands. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate that. Going back to this idea of love, like I said, I do think that it's one of the better coping skills that we have. But I know that we live in a hard world, and sometimes people choose other coping skills, right? And simply put, I'm not here to judge how anybody gets through this life, right? Every day I work with people who have suicidal ideation and who are trying to get through this thing the best way they know how. So I always say, anybody who's looking for healthier, safer, better coping skills, I'm here for that. Call me anytime. But in the meantime, I'm not going to judge how you get through this thing, right? And I learned that lesson in part from my friend Jerry. At 14, my best friend Jerry was the pastor's son, who carved the name of every girl he loved or wanted to love into the flesh of his arms with a razor blade. One look was enough to earn his blood. They called him crazy, but I don't trust the word sane, so let's just say committed. He never forgot their names. Could tell you what color their eyes were still to this day. I wonder if wearing their names made him feel less lonely or more. I used to tease him and ask if they understood that this was what he meant when he told them he wanted to take them in his arms. His skin always spelled lonely. They called him crazy, but I wonder if they ever thought the word brave. Letting go is hard when you fear the expiration date of every smile. All he wanted was some small proof of each moment he came close to love. Each raised letter in his skin was a smile he had touched. Every pucker of flesh, a kiss he could still feel with his hands while we got high outside the church where his father gave sermons. His body was an illuminated manuscript painted the color of romance, written in a violent braille. So desperate for touch, he touched himself with pain, with bleeding. I asked him once. He said he felt every cut. I was always too afraid of the pain, not the cursive or the bleeding, but the goodbye. I have spent my life writing letters only to myself on paper. These poems are the names of every person I never had the courage to lose. What he did to his skin was probably wrong, but what I have done to my own heart may be worse. He was Bradbury's illustrated man. One scar tissue tattoo short of his own story. I was more Frankenstein's monster, born away by darkness and distance, with the dark jealousy for the romance he had with his skin, a witness to the strange intimacy of his pain. Wonder if Jerry has a family today. If there was any room left, a patch of skin around the elbows or something near the wrist, perhaps, to allow their names to spill across his skin. Or if he is still alone, has he crafted a complete alphabet of misconnections, drafted dictionaries of desperation down his legs, every word another person whose name was goodbye? Wherever he is, I wish that I could tell him that I will not start carving names in my arm or open a vein for love, but because of him, I stopped waging war on my skin. No, I tore my heart open with a pen, found myself a child hiding inside, traced the blood to the wrist and wrote, because of you, Jerry, I know it doesn't have to hurt to open your arms. Thank you so much. I guess I should have done this earlier, but trigger warning for all kinds of shit. I have a trauma list that makes my therapist flinch, so, be warned. Anybody else here have issues with Disney sometimes? Anybody like, what the fuck is Disney doing? Right? Just all the time, right? It drives me nuts, right? Now, I don't know about y'all. I grew up reading Aesop's Fables and like the original Grimm's fairy tales, right? Which were a little darker because they were trying to prepare kids for the world that wasn't going to always be very nice to them, right? And then Disney comes along and turns everything into a sing-along song. And, as much as I love the idea of sending positivity out to our kids, there's some real dangers in doing that with some of these stories. You know what I mean? Sleeping Beauty, great example. Absolutely. No, agreed. Absolutely. You know which one is worse, though, I think, for me, my own example is Beauty and the Beast, right? Because, right? Thank you. Exactly. Because in the movies, they make him look like a lion or a wildebeest. Anything more animal than man, really. But the truth is, he looked just like the rest of them. And ain't that some scary shit? When a beast looks exactly like a man. She was every bit as beautiful as they said. They called her a vision, said she was built to perfection, but then again, they said the same thing about the clock. And isn't that what beauty is? Just another thing that some men want to collect and watch. They never even called my mother by her name. Just beauty, as if that's all she could ever be. Some called her brave because she stayed, said she was waiting for the prince she knew he would become. Others called her coward for leaving her son in that home, but no matter what name they used, I just called her mother. And he loved to watch my mother crawl. Never missed a chance to remind her this was his house. Even the dishes felt his rage if she held them too long. Only sang what they're breaking, and no, our teapot never talked. But if it could, no. In movies, the part they will not tell you is how a son always knows when his mother is beaten. In the movies, they will teach little girls that abuse is how a man who's been wronged shows his love, as if it's a test of endurance, like there's some reward waiting the end of his violence. They will not tell you how their own son could never stomach the lesson that beauty comes with the cost, that being a man meant keeping the silence. How the son of a beast, born with the same privilege as him, watched a monster demand a man's daughter and learned how easily some men will sacrifice beauty to the beast when it serves them to do so. Some nights, y'all, she came to my room dressed in whispers and promised that we would really leave this time. This time. But his fists were as tight as his smile when he asked her if she wanted to see her father again. Threatened her kin to keep her with him. You have not known fear until you have learned how easily a man can murder a woman with only his mouth. Every time they speak my father's name, I measure my teeth, test the gums for the coming of fangs. How can I not be afraid that I will wake up hungry like him? Trust beauty with these hands when I'm afraid I will wake up covered in my father's skin. I was there, y'all, so I know a beast does not become a man. What they should have taught us to ask was how a man can live with himself without first killing the beast inside of him. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. They're not all going to be that dark or heavy, I promise.
Hey, yo, what do y'all think about Zachary Cluckman so far? This is the awkward part of the show where the MC interrupts the feature while wearing a Disney shirt. I feel like we probably should have coordinated a little better to plug the feature's merch. Zachary, you got any merch for sale?
I do. I have books and CDs for sale. Only $12 back there. If you come see me, there's a combo deal too.
Only $12. We got 3 books back there. We got an album. Universal's holding them up. We got package deals.
Yeah, package deals.
We got combo deals. So
That's right.
go super size your investment over there.
Absolutely.
If you like what you've heard from Zachary so far. I'm also gonna pass around a tip jar because I don't want to be a hippopotamus. So I'm gonna throw the money in the jar. I'm gonna pass this jar around. I'm also gonna hold up a dry erase board if you want to donate to the virtual tip jar through Venmo or Cash App. So we're gonna pass that around. I'm gonna give the stage back to you, okay, Zachary?
Thank you so much, Safi. Can we give it up again for Safi? Y'all may not know this, but I've been all over the country and nobody does it as good as Safi does, y'all. I promise you. That's the truth, y'all. Absolutely. And everything you buy from me tonight goes to feed a hungry child. Mine, but still. So as I said, I love Aesop's fables and I love stories that offer some kind of lesson, right? And so I wanted to write a parable of my own because we live in these times that we do. And this one begins with a wolf. Said the wolf to his God, "When you look at me now, with the blood of the moon still in my jowls, do you remember as a cub how I chased the sun through the rain? How I whined with desire to own the light with my teeth? I'm not sure if you're listening, but I need to explain how rain finally made sense of the light. The way it bends through a prism of water reveals, even to my limited sight, its nature is a unity of color. We are told this blending of hues creates a pure white radiance. What light creates is not white, only visible. Isn't this what every man wants? What every woman wants, to just be seen? Like any cub without a father, my heart listens hard for yours when the wind is in the trees. When the wind is your voice, heavy with things it will not say. The way light wraps around some bodies until they disappear. An absence only noticed by rain, by chalk and tape and blood. If death is a blind child looking for a hand to hold in the dark, why does it stand so often behind police lines? So often near bodies with dark skin? Why does it do this dressed in the robes of white wolves? I have grown to look like them, born with this coat, with the anger of 1,000 wet birds. I no longer chase my tail or bark at the sun, but I have howled as my dark-haired cousins are hunted for their skin. I am afraid that death will come for us all. Doesn't that make us allies in this fight? Said God to the wolf, "Hush, cub, you are not the one being hunted. That is your privilege wagging its tongue. Your words are an eraser in the hands of an artist who is uncomfortable with the work he must do. When I made you, I named you with the sharp end of a bone, colored your fur with a handful of snow, and spoke 2 commands down your throat. Speak and love. You cannot do one of these without doing the other. Now bark. Tell the white wolves who run in your pack how the light dies if one color goes missing from the prism. Ask them how they will cure their blindness when they have chewed the eyes from their skulls. Tell them they cannot spit me on the ground in their froth and their frenzy while spilling the blood of my children. Do not blame me for your hunger. When has a father ever asked one son to kill another? I have watched you bite your gums for a taste of blood. Tell me, cub, when the men come again with their guns and call the white wolves to their side, whose throat will your jaws find? Said the wolf to his God, I will do as you have made me to do. I will stand with my dark-haired cousins and offer my blood to the moon, raise my voice to the wind and remind us we are all kin. And we will stand right here. When the gunmetal comes through those trees, we will stand and we will show them our teeth. Thanks, y'all. So, I mentioned earlier that I write all these poems because of my own experiences with mental health and with addiction and alcoholism. I've been around for a few minutes. And it's kind of interesting thing about poetry to me, because no matter what you write, no matter what you're trying to say, there's always someone who's going to get mad at something you said, right? Because poetry is so subjective, right? And they're going to sometimes hear what they want to hear. Now, no offense, fellas, but it's usually some guy in the audience who gets mad at me, right? And he comes up to me because he thinks I'm saying all men are abusers or all dads are bad dads, and that's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that there's probably people in this room right now who've had some of these bad experiences, right? Or love somebody who's had some of these experiences. And if we never talk about this shit, it never changes, right? And my philosophy is real simple, right? If you're fortunate enough in this life that somebody gives you a platform or a stage or a microphone, then you need to decide what the hell you're going to do with that. So this is what I do. Thank you. That said, I am a pretty fortunate man. I have 4 beautiful kids and 2 grandbabies, one of whom I'm now raising full time. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. All right. But no, I love it, and I love my kids, and I love, in this life, I think all a parent can hope for really is that their kids are gonna know exactly who they are and live their lives that way, right? And that makes me so happy because my kids are doing that. 3 years ago, my youngest daughter came out to me, and she self-identified as transgender, and it was an amazing moment, and it was very important to me that she know how much I love her and how proud of her I am. It's still very important to me that she knows that. So as a boy, I sat beneath trees every summer and watched the robins fall from their nests. Wondered how a thing built for the sky could have such irresistible attraction to earth. These first attempts at flight were all the proof I needed. Our bodies do not always know their own purpose. The day you told me the body you were born with was not yours, I saw how scared the birds were in your eyes. We have both known parents who march in pride parades and call themselves ally until it is their child who speaks the words, hello, my name is not the one that you think. If you knew how long I have been holding my breath, you would know I am Moses parting the sea in the effort to be free. It is my time to be free, Dad. Your son would like to introduce herself to you. As a parent, words are the gifts I have been given. My hands are not delicate enough to thread rain through the eye of a needle, or I would write this poem for you in high desert storm. I may not speak the tongue of the sky, but I am trying to gather enough wind to tell you that every bird is born flightless. My heart is the tree you cannot fall from. If the body you own, little bird, does not make room for your wings, remember the bees. Sometimes nature gifts you the sky even when your wings are too small. Every bird learns to fly with a fall, and you have fallen enough. 33 feet from your mother's balcony. 33 feet to prove you could land on your own too. And I've been meaning to ask what you were trying to do. Were you trying to jump out of your own skin? or use gravity to map the Earth's body because yours was such unfamiliar terrain? Were you trying to understand the curves you found missing from your hips, or how rain traces the Earth's body the way you once traced your fingerprints with the end of a pencil, as if to introduce yourself to your own touch? Listen, you are more perfect than water, more beautiful than rain catching the moon's eye with her dance. My daughter, you do not have to prove to anyone that gender has nothing to do with genitals, that the idea of doctors assigning this at birth based on nothing but the evidence of flesh is arbitrary, a way to check boxes on birth documents, that you are born in the body, 2 chromosomes decide to take dancing, that those chromosomes don't even exist in some animals, that who will love you and who you will love should have nothing to do with your body anyway. So please, make yourself compass. Point yourself the direction of your happiness and fly, little bird. Let the wind taste the back of your throat and the ground envy your wings for the shadows they cast. And if this boy's borrowed body or this world's need for gender definition make you feel you do not belong, you show them exactly who the fuck you are. You tell them your father loves you, and if any of them have a problem with that, you tell them to come see me. Oh, I'll tell them all about the birds and the bees. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I would like to share one more with you that's brand new, if that's okay. Would you guys mind? You know, normally you put together a set and you're like, let me go do some of my poems that people, you know, have heard and like, and I did that a little tonight, but you know, this month is kind of a heavy month for a lot of people, including me. So so this is brand new. Nobody's heard it before. I'm just gonna keep saying that. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm doing this show in Seattle, and this guy in the audience asks me to say something about loss. And all I can hear is water. So I tell him, loss is the ocean without a song. Even if you've never seen it, some part of you was born to recognize water as music. From the heartbeat of your mother's womb to the ocean with its 1,000,000 gallons of water as blue as her eyes, blue as first night. The sound of waves writing the perfect song for catching moonlight in your hair. Filled with life. From the tiny miraculous plankton that glow with leftover sunset to the whales with their massive bodies in full ballet spin, and you on this impossibly quiet strip of sand, witnessing life as it moves all around you, and then you blink and it's gone. The whales, the damp scent of salt water, even the song of the birds, gone like it never was. Like the hourglass of your sand has run over and there is only desert here now. Some part of you knows this cannot be real. An entire ocean cannot disappear without making a sound, even if it is the sound of your heart breaking. And now, if you have never swum in it, if you have never curved your body through its wet embrace, like your mother's hand cupping your chin when you're sick, slipped silver through its heart, maybe you never will. Maybe you waited too long. Put off the moment of inviting its warm pull into your arms because you were too busy with work. Life got in the way and you always thought there would be time later, but time wasted feels like indictment. And like the good metaphor you are, you will wonder if you deserve this sentence because your ocean has left. Maybe it grew tired of waiting for you to answer its call, like your mother. Loved ones will try and comfort you in your grief, but if they have never lost an entire ocean, they do not know what it means to feel thirst, even for something you could never drink. How lonely it feels to watch your shadow struggle under its burden, knowing every desert is an ocean someone has misplaced, but you know already that all water is music. Even these tears, each carries one note of the endless song you have been straining to hear, so breathe. Even when grief makes a punching bag of your lungs, even when everyone you have ever lost stands outside the window pulling the ocean back from the sky, let the rain come. Listen for their names in the song of water pounding your lawn like Celtic drums. Make your hands the holy grail of your healing and drink deep. believe your ocean is returning. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate y'all so much. Right about now, this is such an amazing space, and I'm so blessed to be here. Before I go, I will say yes, I do have merch back here. Please come see me. Come get some if you want to. They make great Christmas gifts. Can y'all tell how good I am at hawking merchandise and shit? That's not. But I think they're good. I'd love to have y'all go home with them. That's right. But I also want to say tonight, though, if there's anybody out there here or at home watching or wherever, if you are hurting right now for whatever reason, I just want you to know that I see you and I love you and you are not alone in this world, however much it feels that way. That's why we do all these things, right? So thank you all so much. And whatever you do in this life, you have the option to tell your own story or let someone else tell it for you. If you know writers, some of them will try to tell it for you. Don't let them, right? Fuck that. Tell your own story. Better yet, live your own story. Peace out, y'all.
What did y'all think of Zachary Cluckman? He does have books for sale. He does have an album for sale. If you like what you heard from him, just go say hi even. You don't have to buy anything. You say, hey, thank you for that set. Zachary Cluckman, thank you for lifting us up with that. You're welcome back here anytime. Audience, thank y'all so much for coming out to the show. That does end our show for tonight. We are here every single Wednesday. Please make sure, but the venue isn't closed. It's a bar. It's open forever. So feel free to hang out and here at the bar. Feel free to go visit the feature. Let them know if anything spoke to you. We'll be back again next Wednesday. My name is Amir Safi. It has been a pleasure being your host this evening. Please, please have a very nice night. Thank you. Waiting for a friend. Drunk line on the sidewalk.